Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May the peace, blessings, and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on all of us, my dear brothers and sisters. As you're aware about the fact that we are covering a wonderful series of the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and Sayyidina Eve alayhi salatu wasalam. My dear brothers and sisters, in the previous past couple of verses, we understood that there was a conversation between the most compassionate, most kind, the most merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the angels. And the angel, in the state of shock and state of surprise, asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that why such a creation which is going to be what you call as creating the mischiefs, the corruption and the bloodshed on the earth, we have to create such a... So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, what's in my knowledge and what I know you do not know, neither is in your knowledge. So then this conversation continued in chapter number 2 of the glorious Quran, and the verse number is 32 basically, and this wonderful conversation basically goes on. And here in this wonderful verse of the glorious Quran, Allah says that قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ لَا إِلْمَ لَنَا إِلَّا مَا عَلَمْتَنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَلِيمُ الْحَكِيمُ. When they were asked names, the names that were taught to the Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, and they were unable to retrieve or memorize those names or to take those names. Despite the fact that all these names were taught, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was there, and so were the angels. But the angels were not able to remember those names. They were not given that ability, that wisdom, that sense, and that was basically for the creation of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was a creation for the different purpose, and he was given all those particular senses, all that wisdom, all that what it was abilities, the capabilities, and that's the reason why the angels did not pass the test. And when Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take all those names, and he was able to take those names, and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that did I not told you that what's there in the heavens and there on the earth is all in my knowledge, I'm all knowing, all what it was wise and what it was. That's the reason why all the angels were commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prostrate before Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. This is the later what it was part. And here in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قال يا آدم أنبئهم بأسمائهم فلما أبناءهم بأسمائهم قال ألم أقل لكم إني أعلم غيب السماوات والأرض وأعلم ما تبدون وما كنتم تكتمون. Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was told to take names, and he took the names of all those things that were taught him. And the angels were unable to take those names despite the fact that they were present. And when all those names were taught to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, so which means that Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam's creation was different for a different purpose, and his abilities, his senses, his all particulars, this wonderful creation that's called the crown of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So it was for a different purpose. So my dear brothers and sisters, then obviously when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded all the angels, and Iblis was also present in this assembly, and when all the angels prostrated before Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, Iblis argued, and he denied, he refused to bow down or to prostrate before Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when I commanded you, what prevented you to prostrate before Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam? And the argument came from Iblis, that I am superior to Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. I am made of fire, he is made of clay, so the fire does not bow down before the clay. My dear brothers and sisters, the great lesson for us is that we must never consider ourselves to be superior. Who knows what in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is superior and who is inferior? It's all the bit of taqwa, my dear brothers and sisters. So the greatest lesson is that all is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these two wonderful verses. That whatever the ilm, whatever the knowledge, that's all in the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second wonderful lesson is that we must never argue any command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whenever there's a come to the call is calling for the call, and we should never give our own logic, our own reasoning whenever there's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since that we are intelligent enough that we understand this in a different perspective. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command is to do it in this respect. We should never apply our logic, apply our mind, apply our whenever there's a command to be fulfilled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, that is all going to be make our life, beautiful, wonderful on this earth and the world thereafter also. And third greatest lesson is that do not consider ourselves to be superior. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who is superior, who is inferior. These are three important, lessons from these two verses. And then we have to understand also when Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam was sent down he was dwell in the paradise, in the heavens, what happened there, but that will be the next couple of verses inshallah. But for these couple of verses we need to understand that this wonderful commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must trigger us whenever there's a call from the Quran, there's a call from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we have to submit ourselves, we have to obey ourselves, we have to prostrate, my dear brothers and sisters. We must prostrate. We should never ever refuse, argue, or become arrogant about that command. List will become a transgressor, will be in the rules of shaitan, in the rules of Iblis, and our state of affairs will be the same that of Iblis on the day of resurrection or day of judgment. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevent us from that result, from that consequence, and may we submit ourselves in line and submit to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and lead a life of Hasana in this life and the life thereafter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.